So if you've ever asked yourself this question, or have doubted the Bible at all, or have been just told to just believe, know that you're not alone. In fact, this is one of the most important questions that you could ever ask, and it's one that Christians have wrestled with for centuries. And before diving into the evidence for why the Bible can be trusted, let's take a step back and recognize something important. And it's that God reveals himself in two ways.
And how do you know that? God told you? How did he do that?
First, he reveals himself generally through creation, history, and human conscience. And this is what we call general revelation.
You can call it whatever you want, but how do you know there is such a thing?
And it's why people throughout history have always had a sense of God's existence.
That is completely untrue. People have believed in all kinds of spirits and demons and demigods and dead ancestors for eons. The origins of human religion probably date to 100,000 years ago. The belief in a single God is a relatively new development. If you want to say that was introduced by Judaism, perhaps most forcefully in the book of Deuteronomy, then that's only about 2,600 years ago. So that's basically just yesterday in terms of human culture. So I think instead of saying people have always had a sense of God's existence, you should have said people have had a sense of God's existence since basically yesterday. That would have been a lot more accurate.
However, general revelation alone is not enough to know who God is, what he desires, or how we can be saved.
Sure, because you haven't given any reason to believe that general revelation even exists, or that there is indeed a God at all. And who says we have to be saved? So far, you're not doing so great with this.
So that's why God also gave us special revelation, which is his direct communication through prophets, apostles, and ultimately through his written word, which we have recorded in the Bible.
And are you going to tell me why I should believe anything at all that you just said? How do you know any of that? How do you know there is a God? Special revelation, prophecy, a record of this in the Bible. I hope you are not going to tell me that you know all this from the Bible, because remember,
many of their answers can have circular reasoning and will sound like, well, you should trust the Bible because it says it's true.
And if you don't know it from the Bible, how do you know all this? Your imagination?